Hey everyone, and welcome to another bite-sized sex talk with Candi. This is where we tackle your questions every Wednesday here on YouTube, where we then follow all this information tomorrow on my Twitch channel, so don't forget to check that out. And if you haven't already, definitely click the little bell down below. And today we're going to be talking about size, lube, and vibrations. So let's get right on to it. First, we're going to be talking about size. So I've watched a YouTube video where they asked 100 different people what they thought. Some people said size doesn't matter. Other people said size does matter. Some people said, you know, size doesn't matter, but really everyone knows size does matter and all that kind of stuff. And it's personal preference. I know some people that think too big, no. Too small, no. You know, it's kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Sorry, my husband's coughing. The one that's just right. And I think it's a matter of preference and what people think. Personally, it's how you use it. And like what a lot of people said in this video, people that tend to have smaller penises seem to be more givers. So I mean, it's totally what matters to you. And I mean, maybe you don't even have penetration in your relationship, and that's totally cool also. It's figuring out what you want in your relationship, and just because you're being intimate with somebody does not mean that there's actually going to be any penetration, right? All right, moving on. So next one, we are talking about vibration. So a lot of people worry that if they start using a vibrator and things like that, they'll lose sensation, or that you'll always have to use a toy or something to enjoy play by yourself or with a partner, and that's totally not true. It doesn't desensitize the area. It is a misconception. It does help bring blood to the engorged areas like the clit, and which gives it more surface area, and it becomes easier to get these areas aroused. So I think we have to understand the difference there a little bit. Another thing I wanted to touch upon here, so there are times where you may want to take a break. So this is great if you are maybe just starting a new relationship, and maybe you're not really sure if sex is okay with toys or not. Definitely something you should talk about with your partner, but let's say you're not sure, or it's not really something that's on the table that they're okay with, then this is a time where maybe you want to put the toy away and get used to stimulating yourself with your hands or with your partner's mouth, or if you can come with a dick, then that way as well, because sometimes I think it becomes a really mental, and that's where these issues come in. Remember, there is no right way to orgasm. I think a lot of people, oh, do you want to get that, Chris? A lot of people feel that there is this stigmatism between I have to orgasm this way or that way. Do you mind closing the door, hun?
I don't mind.
I'll be done real quick.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to say about that is whatever works for you, and take the stigma away. Everything is totally cool. If you need a toy to orgasm, great. You know what works for you. Maybe you don't need a toy. That's also great. You know what? There is no right or wrong way to do this, okay? So I wanted to touch really quickly upon a guide to using lube, which is perfectly normal. A lot of people need lube. Do not feel like there's something wrong with you, or you can't get wet enough if you need to use lube. What types of brands can you buy? Water-based, silicone, and oil. There's also hybrids, which combined a few of the above items that we just said. So water-based is the most versatile, and it is okay to use water-based on toys and condoms and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to worry. The silicone-based water lube is totally great. If you want something that's a little bit more long-lasting, you want to use silicone-based, which feels like silk sheets is what a lot of people say. It's a lot more durable in the sense that it's more long lasting than the water based. So some things to keep in mind, and if you don't want to have to keep reapplying. The next thing is oil based. So what you have to worry about oil based is that it will cause little imperfections in your toys, so that's something to keep in mind if you do share your toys. And also it is prone to making condoms break, so different things to keep in mind when you're doing your checklist on what's really important to you. And then there's also natural based lubes, which again, you can use things like coconut oil, there's aloe, there's other kinds like that. Again, you got to worry about the oil-based, and all this information I will totally put down below so you guys can check it out. There's also things to avoid at all costs, glycogen, and other things like that. I'll put all the things you need to worry about and make sure it's not on the label in the back. Just remember, if it's natural, you want the least amount of items in, or least amount of ingredients in your bottle. Always want to test these things out ahead of time, just in case if it does cause any irritation. I have a family member that's allergic to silicone, so always best to discuss with your partner what is good for them and not good. And I would love to hear from you guys down below. So what kind of lubes are you guys into, and what would you prefer? Toys, no toys? Does size matter? I want to hear from you guys down below. And don't forget, we will be talking about this tomorrow on Twitch, and I will see you guys then. Bye!